In most jobs, a typo is just, well, it's an annoyance, right? But what if a single misplaced word, just one tiny error, could have life or death consequences? That's what we're diving into today, the incredibly high-stakes world of medical translation. It sounds straightforward, but trust me, it's this complex dance of science, culture, and just absolute pinpoint precision. At the very heart of all medicine is this ancient principle, a promise that doctors have sworn by for centuries. First, do no harm. It's the bedrock of everything. It's the promise of safety, of care, and it's the foundation of that crucial trust between a patient and their doctor. Every single thing they do is built on that simple, powerful idea. So, what happens when that communication, that essential link, just breaks down? What happens when a language barrier means that fundamental promise might get broken, even with the best intentions? Well, that is the critical question we're going to explore. Because in medical translation, a mistake isn't just a typo. Oh no. Inaccurate medical information can lead directly to a misdiagnosis, to the wrong treatment, and to very real patient harm. The stakes just couldn't be any higher. This isn't just about getting the words right, it's a fundamental issue of patient safety. So, what does it actually take to get this right? Well, a medical translator needs a highly specialized toolkit, and it goes way, way beyond just being bilingual. You have to be an expert in the very specific, very precise language of health itself. And that toolkit really rests on three core pillars. First, you need a deep, almost encyclopedic knowledge of medical terminology. We're talking right down to the Latin and Greek roots. Second, you need a really nuanced understanding of culture to make sure the message actually lands correctly. And third, you need an unwavering, absolute, no excuses commitment to accuracy. It's this powerful mix of science, linguistics, and just meticulous attention to detail. Okay, take a look at this. Translating something like prescribe 2 milligrams of aspirin twice daily isn't just about swapping out English words for Arabic ones. Not at all. It's about using the exact standard medical phrasing that a local doctor or pharmacist would actually use. When a person's health is on the line, there is literally zero room for ambiguity. And this brings us to a really key concept called transcreation. This isn't your typical word-for-word translation. Think of it more like recreating the message so it has the same emotional punch, the same intent in a totally new culture. It forces you to ask questions like, how do people talk about health here? What are the local customs? It's all about making sure the message isn't just understood, but that it's also effective and culturally sensitive. But it's not just about language and culture. Oh no, there's another huge layer of complexity here: regulations. Medical translation is a highly, highly regulated industry, and for a very good reason. It's basically the global rulebook for keeping patients safe. So why does all this bureaucracy matter so much? Well, because failing to follow the local rules can have massive consequences. A tiny oversight could delay a life-saving new drug for months, or even get a medical device rejected entirely. Medical translators basically have to be part legal expert, making sure every single document meets the strict, specific standards of each country they're targeting. Okay, so that's all the theory, but what does this look like when the rubber meets the road? Let's check out a case study from the pharmaceutical giant Novartis that shows all these principles in action. So here's the setup. Novartis has a new drug, let's call it LungGuard. They need to get the patient information leaflet, that critical piece of paper with all the instructions, side effects, and warnings translated into Arabic for the entire Middle East and North Africa region. And they were facing a perfect storm of challenges. You've got the sheer complexity of Arabic itself, with its unique script and grammar. Then you have all the different cultural norms across the huge MENA region. On top of that, there's a maze of different regulations for each individual country. And of course, they had to do it all on a tight deadline and budget. This is where a simple translation job quickly becomes a major strategic project. So what was their solution? A super rigorous, multi-layered quality process. It wasn't just one person. Step 1, native Arabic-speaking medical specialists did the initial translation. Step 2, a senior medical expert reviewed everything for technical accuracy. Step 3, a professional editor came in to polish the grammar and flow. And finally, step 4, a proofreader did one last check for any tiny errors. It just goes to show this isn't a one-person job. It's a team of specialists, and each one adds another critical layer of safety. That Novartis case really brings all these different pieces together, doesn't it? So as we start to wrap things up, what are the big takeaways here? What should we really remember? Okay, here's what it all boils down to. First, this kind of work demands true subject matter experts, not just someone who happens to speak two languages. Second, that multi-step quality process, it's not optional. It is absolutely essential. Third, cultural adaptation, that idea of transcreation, is totally key for the message to be effective. And finally, knowing the regulations inside and out isn't just a good idea, it's non-negotiable for both patient safety and for the product to even succeed. And all of this leaves us with a final, really powerful question to think about. The work these medical translators do is a vital piece of a much, much bigger puzzle. As our world gets more and more connected, how do we actually build a global healthcare system where language is never a barrier to safe, effective, and compassionate care? How do we make sure that no one, absolutely no one, gets left behind?